In this video, we will be discussing the web interface to the OfficeWatch call accounting system. We will use this interface to generate reports on demand. Prior to this point, your system administrator will have given you the web address or IP address to access the system, as well as a username and password. It is imperative that your web browser is not blocking pop-up windows, as the call accounting system will pop up in a new window once you've logged in. To begin with, we will open a browser, as you see before you. We will enter in the IP address we were given by the system administrator, and hit enter. You see that we are now being asked to log into the system. We will enter the username and password that we were also given by the system administrator. Once we have logged in, this window will appear. Once you have logged in, you are presented with the following screen. You will notice that we have some menus and icons along the top, as well as a chart here showing recent calls. Down here at the bottom we have a call volume graph, and down here we have a map showing where all of our calls are being sent or received from. Starting with our chart, you notice that we have the date and time of recent calls, the extension the call was made to or received from, the digits dialed or received if it was an incoming call, the location on where that call was placed to, or if it's an incoming call, where it came from, the duration of the call, as well as the classification, whether it is a local, incoming, local toll, or long distance. If we had configured pricing for each of these tier structures, you can see the cost of the call here. If we wanted to generate a report, we would simply click up here on Reports, and we can drill into several different types of reports. So if we wanted to generate an extension detail report on a particular extension or on a group of extensions, we would select Extensions and Details. Click on that, and that brings up the following screen. We can filter by department, or we can filter by specific extension numbers. Right now, if I run this report, it's going to report on all extension numbers in our system, regardless of department. For this date, from midnight to midnight. I can adjust whether I want to do only incoming, outgoing, or all calls. If I want to do just a specific block of extensions, I could type in the extension range, and it will only report on these extension numbers. If I want to do just one specific extension, I could type in that extension number on both boxes. When I hit report, it's going to bring up a list of all the calls that user has made for that date and time period. And it's giving us a detailed report, so we see the numbers that were dialed or the numbers that were received on caller ID. I can click this button here to return to OfficeWatch, or I can print this report out to the default printer assigned to this computer. Anytime I want to return to the home screen, I would press Home. As far as the extension reports, there are several different options. Most often used are again the extension details, which we can change the date that we want to pull this report from. Or the extension summary. The extension summary gives us a summary of all the calls for the selected extensions for the selected time. So now we do not see exact details on a call per call basis, but we do see how many calls each extension number has placed or received, the amount of time they have spent on the phone. And again, if pricing was entered, total amount of those calls. We can also do reports by department. So we can do a department detail. If we leave these extension numbers alone, and we select just the sales department for this same time period, it'll show us a detail of all the calls for the people assigned to the sales department. Another useful report is the longest call, which should be under time, longest calls. This will give you a report on calls based on duration. As you can see, this incoming number had the longest call for that time frame. Yet another useful report is under Other, Frequently Dialed Numbers. We can filter it down here. If we want to restrict frequently dialed numbers to, in this instance, international, we want to see the most frequently dialed international numbers. Or if we leave this blank, it'll show us for all extensions for this date and in all departments what the most frequently dialed numbers were. So as you can see, this number was dialed incoming 9 times over that time frame, hence the INC. This number was dialed 7 times. This was an outgoing call. The location of that number is Roselle. Again, to return to the main page, we would press Home. The Reports field gives you several options for various reports. A user with report-only permissions will have the ability to run reports, but will not have the ability to adjust extensions or departments. Again, the report functionality can be used to generate as much details as we are looking for. We can filter all of the call information by drilling down into users, departments, incoming, outgoing, pull reports over a span of dates or over a specific date. Your system administrator has the ability to schedule any of these reports to be automatically emailed to a user or a list of users at set intervals. For example, you can have an automatically generated report on extension details for the previous week. Your system administrator can set that up to email you that report every Monday at 7 a.m. So you could have a detailed list of specific users or an entire department automatically emailed to your inbox on a weekly, daily, or monthly basis. Any report that you can generate, your system administrator can configure to have emailed to you automatically. This concludes our video on generating on-demand reports from the web interface for your Office Watch program.